Oba's contract and how he deserved to get that, I guess.
Well, obviously I think Oba's had a wonderful year for us this year, and we hope he has many more like that. But it's he's a guy that we want to keep. I think everybody can see the difference this year versus last year because of the fatigue that entered into him at the end of the season, and he comes out and he gives you an effort every time he steps on the field. So I think it's great that he's going to be sticking around. I think he likes Seattle. I don't know if he said that, but it's one of the reasons I think he's sticking around, and hopefully him and Clint together can have a few more years of success for us.
Have you seen a change in his play at all since the deal got done? Maybe like a weight being lifted off of him?
No. We just said, that was something we left for him, his agent and Adrian, and I tried to stay out of it. We talked about it early, and he says, "Nah, let them handle it." And he just focused on training, came out and trained, and really, I really didn't know it was completed and it was done until I heard it was done. So there was really no change that I noticed.
With regard to the game tomorrow, I'm sure you're not going to say that you have a rooting interest, but
What game's that?
But in the regular season, y'all got 2 wins out of 3 with Dallas, none out of Vancouver. Any relevance to that?
No, it doesn't matter. We lost to both of them the last time we played, so that's good for us. I'd always rather play a team that we lost to the last time because, I know my guys, and I know their motivation and their character and their beliefs. So that'll get them motivated and ready to go. So whether it's Dallas or whether it's Vancouver, it doesn't matter to us. We know we've got to win the next series.
Does each team present a different sort of challenge? And if so, what?
Every team always presents a little bit of a different challenge, So, both teams have speed, so they're similar in that regard. But Dallas has more of a target forward in Blas Perez, somebody that holds up play up there. So every team has little nuances and little differences. They're obviously very dangerous on set pieces as well. But then you got Vancouver's got their pace, and they can substitute pace out and bring on more pace. So whoever it is, we have to be ready and play well.
You guys played in the one-game playoff last year. What kind of pressure does that kind of put on the teams that are in it this year?
Well, the pressure is it's a one-off game. It's a must-win. I know I never like to say games are must-wins, but that's a must-win. It was for us last year. I think the difficulty was, you're playing that game, you end your season, you're not quite sure where you're going, and then you find out, okay, for us it was easier, we're staying at home, and then you play that game, and then you get ready for another team, so it's just like you're constantly going like that. So it definitely puts some pressure on you that way because you've got to coordinate your efforts as a coaching staff and as a team to focus on one opponent and another opponent in quick succession, and you really can't focus on the one opponent because Dallas didn't know who that opponent was going to be until late Saturday night.
How much effect did that have on you guys last year heading into the Portland series?
I think it made game one maybe a little more difficult because I think fatigue entered into that game for us a little bit. But we're happy that we got the home seed. We generally win the second game at home when we play at home. In the second legs of series, we've done that in the past in series in MLS, and we did that in Champions League as well with Tigre. So I think being at home the second game is good for us.
What kind of challenges does it present that you won't know your opponent until Wednesday night, leaving only, 2-3 training sessions before a match?
Just means I got to spend a few more hours watching tape. But, from a standpoint of our team, our whole thought process always is, making sure we're right and we're ready, that we're playing at the top of our game and that we're clicking. And, it's a matter of when you get to this stage of the season, it's a matter of execution. And sometimes it's not even dominance. It's being able to make plays at key moments and executing at key times. And, that's what we're worrying about, and that's what we need to make sure we're sharp about. And it doesn't matter if the opponent is Vancouver or Dallas. If we're sharp and playing well and executing, then we'll do well.
There's been a lot of rotation on the midfield. Would you be waiting to see which team you'll be playing to maybe think about a Marco Papa, maybe a Sierra, and
we haven't
like
rotated actually that much. I know everybody's making a big thing that Marco's come off the bench the last 2 games, and I'm trying to think of how many games he's come off the bench all season. It's maybe only 4 at most. Early in the season when I pulled him out of the starting lineup for a few games, but I think he's definitely got a lot more games as a starter than as a sub. But certainly Brad and Lamar Lamar and Papa haven't always all been healthy at the same time, and so that's made it a little bit easier. Or we've had other areas where we've missed people. DeAndre was gone for that period of time, so Brad ended up having to play right back for us. So there's always something that happens, so I don't worry about it too much. And we're gonna, if everybody's healthy and ready to go, then we'll put out the group that we think fits best for the occasion.
How's Brad feeling? Was it groin, you said, after Saturday?
Yeah, he was all right. He went through warm-up today and went through the first part of practice, and then we wanted to shut him down and give him another day to come back. But he definitely is starting to feel better.
And how about Marshall?
Marshall, same. We just were cautious with him today. He felt he could have gone on and trained, and he wanted to train, but we said no.
What was his ailment?
Just a sore neck, sort of from the collision, with Fry.
The U.S. national team has a friendly game kind of in between playoffs. Obviously, Clint and DeAndre are part of the constant people that Klinsmann wants. Would you be declining something like that if he was to call for them because of the playoffs? Or
we can't decline it. That's the federation has the right to call him if it's on a recognized FIFA date. They can actually keep them from playing with us if they don't go. But we have an ongoing dialogue in a situation. We know there's always a prelim list that goes out, so we've got a few players on the prelim list. And but then I think Jurgen's going to look at Klinsmann as to who's still in the playoffs, who's playing, and he'll make his final decisions based on that.
Does your philosophy change at all? It's playoff time. I know we talked the season's a marathon, but now this is what you play for right now. Does the way you practice and prep change at all?
No. We might spend a little more time on set pieces as we go to it because we have an extra day of training this week, and maybe we'll throw a wrinkle or two in there. Do something different that we haven't done all season, so somebody sees something different. But in terms of our preparation, our rhythm, we just, want to continue to focus on here's the things we got to continue to work on and do well in order to be successful.
The LA game got kind of chippy. Are you expecting that to continue to the playoffs? Will we see LA again, or with any other, close rivals?
I think a lot of games have been chippy at the end. I think the referees have let the game go a little bit, and I think that's caused some of that to go on. So I expect the playoffs to be chippy all the way through.
The playoffs.
Anything could come from the league on the little second half scrum?
Always concerned, but so far we haven't heard anything.
The playoffs are often referred to as the second season. What makes these next few games such a different beast?
Because it's a cup, it's not a reflection of league or anything like that. If you get hot at the right time, if you're playing well, if you get a hot goalkeeper, at a key moment, you get somebody on the field who all of a sudden just blossoms and the game comes together for him, so there's sometimes where, a couple of individuals and your team being in form can make everything right for you. Look at, I'm not a big baseball follower, except I do follow the Giants, but you got a World Series where you got two wild card teams in the World Series, and that's a reflection of they just got hot at the right time, and you got a pitcher who's having a great playoffs, and Bumgarner from San Francisco, and he can carry that team. So it's the same thing in any sport. You get it in hockey, you get it in soccer, you get it in football. It's the same thing.
What is the current status of Eric Zavaleta?
Eric was on loan to Chivas, so that loan ends with the end of the season, so he returns to us, but he's not eligible to play for us.
Is he going to come here to train out through the playoffs?
Don't know. Haven't gotten to that yet.
Great.
Thank you.